To Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai Bashim Chakodash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, a great millstone, the rule and teach well. Peace of salutation to the 1144 first fruit. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into this lesson. It's pretty much going to be about this MOTB that's coming up.
My ministers will also proceed with the introduction of digital ID that will modernize how citizens interact with public services. My ministers will also proceed with the introduction of digital ID that will modernize how citizens interact with public services. My ministers will also proceed.
So I just wanted to play that a few times, and with that being said, about 2 days later after he said that, this happened.
Tens of thousands of protesters waving Union Jack flags and chanting anti-government slogans overtook London on Saturday. It's part of the far-right Unite the Kingdom rally organized by anti-Islam activist Tommy Robinson.
I want England to be England. And also I want the boats to stop.
Of men coming over, which we don't know who they are, where they've come from, and they're getting put up in our local areas. We've got lots of strange faces. Every day there's new ones.
Counter-demonstrators also flooded the streets, combining forces with pro-Palestinian protesters marking Nakba Day. This day of remembrance commemorates the start of the 1948 war between Israel and Arab states, and the subsequent ousting of 700,000 Palestinians from what is now Israel.
Yep, so they're protesting, it's not mentioning it in this one yet, but they were protesting what King Charles said, and also they're protesting Zionism. This is showing that the world does not like America and Israel, but anywho, focusing a lot on this one, he's saying that digital ID is going to come in to modernize the people. No one fucking asked for it. So that's why they're mad again. No one asked for this. This is just a plan on which Esau has, which we're going to read about here in Revelation. I'll start Revelation 13. Well, I'll start Job 5 real quick. Job 5 and 12, it says, he disappointed the devices of the crafty so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. And the word enterprise is like a project or a plan. Okay? It says project or undertaking, typically one that is difficult or requires effort, which his plan to chip everybody in the world does require extreme amount of effort. It says he frustrates the plans of schemers so the work of their hands will not succeed. And that's the Lord when he says he frustrates. Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai is frustrating the hands of these schemers, which are these self-proclaimed white people. And I say self-proclaimed white people because they call themselves that, because they don't want to call themselves by their true name, because they're afraid of their own identity, which are the Edomites. Okay? And the elites of the Edomites are like the Rothschilds, the DuPonts, the Rockefellers, the Vanderbilts, so on and so forth. Okay? When you have these different type of individuals in seat and power, they're trying to fulfill an enterprise that is going to benefit them and be detrimental to you. Because the scriptures do talk about the grievous sword, which we'll get into. They don't have a lot of time on their hands. So let me just read Revelation 13 and 11 real quick. It says, and I behold another beast coming up from the earth. And he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. Verse 12, it says, and he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, and he caused the earth and them which dwelt therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. Verse 13. Again, I'm going through this. You can go catch the apostles and elders breakdown in Revelation, the 13th chapter. But me, I'm just going through it for the sake of time. Because really, this is just a news update that this MOTB is here. And it's getting more and more relevant. And it's getting more and more, it's going to get more and more relevant to your everyday lives. And it's going to be pressed in your people's, in y'all's faces to either take it or not. We're going to read the consequences for taking it or not, and then also we're going to read the consequences of acknowledging the beast or not, which is going to be spoken about what I'm reading here. All right? And pretty much that beast, man, Salaki. Salaki, give me 1 second. All right, so like, yeah, so pretty much, that beast, you could say also too is just accepting the enterprise, like being a part of their plans, because Esau needs the people to conduct the plan on. All right, if you don't want to be a part of that plan, something's going to happen to you. Verse 13, it says, and he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven in the sight of men. Hey, man, that's those missiles, too. When you watch the Iran-Israel war, Iran usually shot their missiles at night. They literally look like stars falling down from heaven. They do. And that's what John the Revelator was seeing here. So that's what he wrote down. So verse 14, it says, and he deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles. And when I watched a lesson from Apostle Tahar some time back, and he says, when you go into that word miracle, it aligns with technology. So let's read it. It says, and he deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those technologies. The MOTB, the object smaller than a grain of rice, that's a technology that is trying to implant into everybody. That's the enterprise. That's the scheme. That's the plan. Okay? Which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image of the beast, which had the wound by the sword and did live. And he had power to give life unto the image, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Bro, come on, man. If you are not aligned with the system is going to take you out. And that takes me to this, what Bill Gates said. It says, this is what Bill Gates said. He said, Bill Gates and Tony Blair recently said that if you don't have the digital ID by 2028, you will be isolated from society. And that's a part of being killed, when you're totally neglected by society, meaning people, everything, your money, which we're going to get into later in this chapter. Everything, you're cut off. Your social identity, you're done for. You die. It says, stop letting these narcissists creeps make decisions for humanity. Whoever wrote this, you just got to understand there's nothing you can do about it. Okay? There's nothing you can do about it. The MOTB is going to be a mass it's going to be a mass event that a lot of people are going to voluntarily take a part of. When you say stop letting these narcissist creeps make decisions for humanity, you're speaking for about 10% of the world's population who are going to be not against this shit. You feel what I'm saying? And there are going to be some who are going to be against it, but they're going to fold like a taco and crack like an egg. And you better pray to the Lord that that's not one of you. You know, you may be against it, but damn, your stomach beats your spirituality. You feel what I'm saying? Your stomach beats your spirituality. Now you're just cooked. All right? And you just go ahead and take that MOTB, and then you acknowledge the beast in the system, in the scheme, in the plan, and then you make it physical. Because a lot of these people have already chosen a side right now, as we speak. A lot of these people have already chose their side, and you could tell who those people are, and also you could tell who those people ain't too. If you have a keen spiritual eye on your day-to-day lives, you know, you could tell someone who's like not with that shit and will be rebellious towards the beast and its image and its physical prick that it wants to put inside of you. You could tell. People are choosing sides right before your eyes. They may not be bluntly saying it right now, but they are choosing sides right before your eyes. You got to be spiritually keen enough to see that. So you know who to exclude and you know who to include. Okay? But you heard it straight from there. Bill Gates and Tony Blair recently said that if you don't have the digital ID by 2028, you will be isolated from society. And that goes back to Revelation 13 and 15. It says, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed, cut off. And that's going to happen digitally and physically. Okay? So let's keep going. Revelation 13 and 16, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or their foreheads. You ever seen, me and my rib just got done watching the show called Yellowstone. And in Yellowstone, they always herd the cattle, and when they mark a cattle or calf, they pierce the ear of it with the tag. What the fuck do you think Esau's about to do to you people? He's gonna herd you like fucking cattle and pierce you with the tag. Okay? And this is not speaking about no fucking embargo or sin or something like that, which these other Israelite camps push. No, it is a physical object that is going to go inside of you. Okay? It says in their right hand or in their foreheads, meaning the right hand, either or, doesn't matter. Okay? It doesn't matter. You could get it in your left butt cheek. You got it. Okay? It's just that simple. All right? And what's the consequences of if you don't get that? Here it is, verse 17. It says, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Okay? You can't buy or sell. You can't do shit. You're cut off from society if you are rebellious towards his enterprise. Okay? Let's go to Job 5 again. Job 5 and 12. It says, he disappointed the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. In the NLT, it says he frustrates the plans of the schemers so that the work of their hands will not succeed. The ultimate end-all be-all is not going to succeed, but he's going to succeed on some of you fucking individuals that the Lord don't like. The Lord is going to allow y'all to get tagged because y'all are not a part of the Lord's enterprise. In a sense of on the right-hand side of salvation. You're not a part of that enterprise. You're part of the enterprise that is spoken about in Proverbs, the 16th chapter. Let's pull that up real quick. Proverbs 16. Y'all know exactly where I'm going with this. Proverbs 16 and 4. It says, the Lord hath made all things for himself, yeah, even the wicked for the day of evil. So you're a part of that enterprise. You're a part of the plan of the day of evil. All right? And the word evil in the Hebrew is ra, which means bad times. That's all evil means, bad times. So you are a part of the bad times, not the good times. Good times, not the good times. You're part of the bad times that the Lord has planned for you, individuals who do end up taking that MOTB. You're a part of that, okay? And I'm not trying to be a part of that enterprise. I'm trying to be a part of the enterprise that gets salvation, all right? Because that's a whole different plan, okay? And Esau has been working off a lot of gradualism, all right? It says gradualism is a principle that change comes about through steady, continuous, and incremental steps rather than sudden, drastic, or violent transformations. So that goes back to what I was saying. A lot of these people are automatically going to be willing. You can tell who's on whose side right now. You can tell people who have chosen, they have made their choice about this system. They're with it. When you go do a study and you look up the study of back in 2020, 2021-ish, when all these vaccines for for COVID came out, and then you look at it now, about over 70% of the world's population has been dosed with that juice or have a double or triple taking of it, meaning they voluntarily went and took that. The other 30% didn't do it. And that's the 30% Esau's working on right now. They're trying to dwindle that number, okay? But if they were to push out this MOTB right now, 70% of the world would go for it. They'll push out some dumbass agenda or some stupid ass, story, fear-mongering and making people scared, and then the solution is to go get the C-hip and put it wherever you want, put it in your big toe, and that's going to save the planet, but he's just marking you, and he's tagging you like cattle. But 70% of the world, of the population, will be down for it. We'll see when it comes up. I think it's going to be around like 80 to 90% of the people are going to take that thing. Whether they voluntarily or they're forcibly or they just gave in. It's still a part of that number. You took it. You feel what I'm saying? You took it. And if you were forced to take it, like pinned down or whatever, the Lord don't like you. The Lord doesn't like you. But you just got to deal with the consequences because you took it. All right? That's simple. All right? That's simple. So why I'm bringing up gradualism is he doesn't have enough time anymore. Gradualism is unrealistic in his prize right now, or his enterprise, because of what the scriptures say. Revelation 12:12 says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you." Who's that devil? The self-proclaimed white man. That's what he calls himself, the pasty cracker. All right, the saltine. I call them the saltines. Okay, the fucking saltines. When they don't want to call them, they call themselves everything under the sun except what they really are because they're ashamed of themselves. What they're called is an insecurity in their head, and their names are Edomites. Okay, they run away from it so much. That's why they try to steal Israelite identity via the 1948 Balfour Declaration. Go look it up. It's an easy search. Google. Type it in, motherfucker. You know, right after the World War II, they established themselves in that land and called themselves them people, and they're not them people. They're just saltine crackers. They're salty and white. That's what the Edomites are, and they're annoying and lame as fuck. That's why they're doing all this shit. You know, it says because he knoweth that he hath a short time. So gradualism it's absolutely impossible for them right now because they don't have, the Lord put them on a time clock. Okay, they have that little dumb doomsday clock thing, and they know they're running out of time. Okay, they're running out of time. They can't take incremental steps anymore. They have to take dramatic steps, which are going to be extremely noticeable, and people are going to understand that these are the Edomites of the Bible. These are the creatures that are ruining the world, okay? But the Lord's going to come back and interrupt his enterprise so he can pluck out his elect, okay? Before he gets the whole world to be marked, you know? So that's what's going on. I'm going to play this one more time and then close out the lesson.
My ministers will also proceed with the introduction of digital ID that will modernize how citizens interact with public services.
Yeah, man. The world is cooked. And you're cooked with it if you don't have Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. So that's all I have for you here today. I want to give all glory and praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem HaChakodash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, a great millstone, the room, and teach well. Peace, love, salutation to the elect 144 first fruit. Till the next time, I say shalom, and like always, repent for Yahweh Shai is coming back sooner than what me and you believe. All right, shalom.